As I read your test aloud for you, your job is to annotate and answer the questions. After I read each question, you can press pause while you take the time that you need to answer the question, and then push play when you're ready for me to move on to the next question. Unit 2, all 13 unit test. This assessment will show what you know and what you have learned from all 13. This assessment has 3 parts. Part 1, core knowledge of the text. Part 2, application to all 13. Part 3, application and a new text. Here are some tips to help you do your best. Be sure to read all the directions. Read and annotate all text provided. If you see a quotation or section of the text referenced, go back and skim that part before you choose your answer. Part 1, core knowledge of the novel. Do your best to answer these questions based on your understanding of the book, all 13. Question 1, who are the wild boars? A young team of soccer players from Thailand. B, a team of young baseball players from Thailand. C, a team of professional tennis players from Thailand. Number 2, what do the 13 wild boars decide to do at the start of the text? A, they decide to throw a surprise birthday party for Night. B, they take a cave exploration trip. C, they practice hard and win a soccer match. Number 3, what final solution does the rescue team use to successfully rescue the boys from the cave? A, they drill a hole on the side of the cave and the Navy SEALs use it to retrieve the boys. B, they sedate the boys and professional cave divers dive them out. C, they wait for the rainy season to end and the boys walk out of the cave. Number 4, what is one result of the fame and popularity of the boys? A, they become internationally famous and move to Hollywood. B, they become monks for the rest of their lives. C, their situation raises increased awareness and reform for stateless people of Thailand. Number 5, what is one theme of all 13? A, fame and glory makes people conceited. B, everyday people can achieve extraordinary accomplishments when they collaborate. C, to successfully work in culturally diverse groups, a person must be uncompromising. Number 6, what is the definition of text features? You may use your own words. Number 7, in 1 to 3 sentences, explain how Soren Torvat, the author, uses text features in all 13. There are many possible answers. An example of a text feature of all 13 is Soren Torvat uses text features too. Part 2, application to all 13. Read and annotate the following 2 excerpts from all 13. Respond to this prompt. A, what is the mood of these sections and what craft moves, like imagery, diction, or cliffhanger, does the author use to create this mood? Excerpt 1. In this section of the wild boars have been trapped in the cave for almost a week. They are dealing with hunger and their bodies are being impacted. June 30th, 2018. The wild boars are starving. They are grateful to be able to fill their bellies with water, but it doesn't stop the gnawing hunger. The water flowing through the cave has become much clearer now, so they simply drink straight from the stream. The only upside of not having any solid food is now they don't have to deal with the solid waste either. For the first couple of days, the boys had crossed the water that surrounds their gravely perch to go to a bank of sand on the other side of the chamber to take care of business. Now they just pee downstream. Even so, the enclosed space makes it impossible to escape the stink of human waste. The boys have all started to lose what little body fat they had to begin with. If they have to go on much longer without food, their bodies will begin burning muscle. Any longer than that, and their internal organs will begin to shut down. Their bodies will put their last reserves into keeping their hearts, brains, and kidneys going. Once these vital organs start to suffer, death is not far behind. Excerpt 2. This section begins after Thai Navy SEALs have attempted to dive past Sam Yak. The Thai Navy SEALs again attempt to dive past Sam Yak, but they get no further than before. The current is now so strong that if a diver doesn't keep his face head on to the flow, the water will rip his mask off. On June 26, the water rises so high that it pushes the SEALs and all the other rescue workers out of the Sam Yak area completely. Vern emerges from the cave, muddy and discouraged. He tells his partner, Tick, that he's worried the operation is going to end very badly. The SEALs have no shortage of determination and physical strength, but the fact remains that they don't have the equipment or experience to dive in caves. That afternoon, he lays out the horrendous conditions to the mission commander, Governor Narongsak. The water is cold, the current is strong, and the visibility is so low that it's like trying to dive through a vat of coffee. There are only a handful of people in the world who can dive in water like this, and they must bring those people to Tham Luang immediately. Vern tells the governor, "Sir, you have one last chance at this rescue, or the boys will die." Number 8, open response. Answer the questions below. You must use evidence from the excerpts above, but you can pull in evidence and ideas from other sections of the text. What is the mood of this section, and what craft moves like imagery, diction, and cliffhanger does the author use to create the mood? Part 3, application in a new text. The excerpt below is from the beginning of the Young Readers edition of the book, Omnivore's Dilemma by Michael Pollan. In this section, the author discusses the impact of high-yield corn on George Naylor's grandfather. When you're done, you'll consider how the text features strengthen the author's argument. Corn versus everyone. When George Naylor's grandfather was farming, the typical Iowa farm was home to many different plant and animal species. At the top of the list were horses, because every farm needed working animals. After horses were cattle, chickens, and then corn. After corn came hogs, apples, hay, oats, potatoes, and cherries. Many Iowa farmers also grew wheat, plums, grapes, and pears. This diversity with many different types of crops allowed the farmer to get by if prices fell for any one crop. The arrival of high-yield corn changed all of that. It changed the very landscape of Iowa, as corn drove out other plants and animals, and even many of the people. As yields and farmers grew more corn, prices dropped. Suddenly, it was cheaper to feed corn to cattle instead of raising them on hay and grass. People also found it cheaper to feed corn to chickens and hogs. A new business emerged. Cattle, pigs, and chickens started being stuffed full of corn in large factory-type operations called feedlots. So the animals disappeared from the farm, and with them the pastures and the hayfields and the fences. The horses began to disappear when farmers started buying tractors. In the place of the pastures, the farmers planted more corn and sometimes soybeans. Now the corn began to push out people too. A farm of corn and soybeans doesn't require nearly as much human labor as the old-fashioned farm full of different kinds of crops. Bigger tractors and machines, chemical weed killers, and artificial fertilizer made it easier for one farmer to handle more acres. Growing corn is just riding tractors and spraying, Naylor told me. It only takes a few weeks of work over a year to raise 500 acres of industrial corn. So the farms have gotten bigger, but few people live on them. When Naylor's grandfather arrived in America, the population of Greene County was near its peak, 16,467 people. In the 2006 census data, it had fallen to below 10,000. The town of Churton in the center of the county is like a ghost town. The barbershop, a food market, and a local movie theater have all closed in recent years. The middle school has so few students left that it can no longer field a baseball team. It takes 4 high schools to field a single football team, the Jefferson, Scranton, Patton, Churton Rams. Just about the only business left standing in Churton is the grain elevator, the tall structure where corn is stored before it is shipped elsewhere. The elevator stands at the far end of the town like a windowless concrete skyscraper. It still makes money because people or no people, the corn keeps coming. More of it every year. Number 9, what statement does not describe how the landscape of Iowa has changed? A, the variety of crops and livestock produced has diminished. B, more people have opened farms to grow corn. C, the population has decreased. Number 10, reread this excerpt from the text, the second page. So the animals disappeared from the farm, and with them the pastures and hay fields and fences. The horses began to disappear when the farmer started buying tractors. What is the impact of the diction or word choice, disappeared? A, it creates a mysterious mood. B, it conveys the author's disappointment in farmers. C, it emphasizes the impact corn has had on the land. Number 11, open response. Answer the question below to the best of your ability. You may use the passage and knowledge organizer to help you. How do the text features strengthen the author's argument?